than a hero. Your team is banning. The enemy is picking.
Hope will find a way.
Please pick a
even
hero.
when all is forlorn.
Love and hope are the two greatest inventions.
No one can escape my iron
The
fist.
enemy is picking.
Wherever I go, pain flees.
So, who's next?
Your team is picking.
I am the moonlight that breaks through the darkness.
I'm bound by nothing, be it
The
family
enemy
or
is picking.
destiny.
Old Alus still has a few tricks to show!
Calm and cool, just like ice.
Your team is picking.
Let's play together.
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
Strength is simply my style. Shattering is the easiest thing. I'm the perfect fusion of speed and strength.
Launch attack! Battle spell in cooldown.
I'm an artist of combat. Behold my strength!
An enemy has been slain.
Artist of combat.
Launch attack.
Ult is ready.
Strength is simply my
Launch
style.
attack. Launch attack.
Shattering is the easiest thing. Yeah. Back, if you dare. Yeah. Yeah.
Launch attack.
Joy being shattered apart.
Attack the turtle.
Gather up the turtle!
Of speed
Gather
and
up the
strength.
turtle!
Ult is not ready. An ally has slain the turtle.
Artist of combat.
Ult is not ready. Initiate retreat. Ult is not ready. An enemy has been slain. Ult is not ready. Launch attack! Your team destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Push first.
Joy being shattered apart.
Ult is not ready.
The time is now.
Your team destroyed a turret. Initiate retreat.
Shattering is the easiest
An
thing.
enemy has been slain. Killing spree. Shut down.
Strength is simply my style. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Launch attack.
I'm the perfect fusion of speed and strength.
Request backup. Launch attack. An enemy has ult not ready. Request backup. Initiate retreat.
Joy being shattered apart.
Request backup. Okay, ult is ready. Launch attack. Launch attack.
Strength is simply my style.
An enemy has been slain.
Attack if you dare.
Our turret has been killing spree. Team destroyed a turret. Unstable network.
I'm the perfect fusion of speed and strength. Yeah. 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 The time is now. Artist of combat. Yeah. Behold my strength.
You have slain an enemy.
Shattering is the
Ult is not
easiest
ready.
thing.
Ally has been slain.
Strength is simply my style.
Your team destroyed a turret. Initiate retreat. Spree.
Gather up the Lord! Gather up the Lord!
If you dare. Yeah. Yeah.
Attack
Gather up
forward.
the Lord!
Unstable network.
Yeah. Time is now.
Our turret has ally has slain Lord.
Artist of combat.
Unstable network.
Yeah.
Launch attack.
Being shattered apart.
Launch attack. Ult is not ready. An enemy has been slain. Ult is not ready. Unstable
I'm the
network.
perfect fusion of speed and strength.
Ult is not ready. Your team destroyed a kill. Unstoppable. Request backup.
Shattering is the easiest thing.
Victory!
Alis ka na, matagal mong balik eh. Maali na.
In MLBB, each of the 5 players plays a distinct role.
Whatever it is you want to believe,
But how do these roles work together on the world stage?
go Sans, who picks up the
Mid laner,
special for the Emperor.
And I think one problem now for Falcon is that if they take Valentina, there really isn't any ultimates that she would like. I mean, you could wait for the mid laner for NIP Flash, but showing a Valentina in this pick without knowing what, and well, seeing the first 4 picks of NIP Flash feels like a weaker approach, right? So Faramis should be the choice. They take the Roger.
Whoa!
Find a way.
Who's going where?
All is forlorn.
It's a Roger jungle, right? Yeah, it should be.
That might be a bit too slow. He's very slow in the jungle now.
He is very slow in the jungle.
Into a Hilda, nonetheless.
I'm not entirely sure where they want to go with this, to be perfectly honest, right? Maybe you can utilize the iframes from Lycan Pounce to dodge away against the unstoppable force, but then there's a lot of disruption that happens in between, whether it be the worldie, whether it just be, you know, Hilda being Hilda. We'll see how NIP reacts to this, because now even for the mid lane, it's kind of awkward to say, yeah, I want to take the Valentina, I will take your Eternal Guardian, but there's not a lot of targets I really want to hit other than your front line.
It does solve the problem of the Granger, right? Like, one of the biggest things about Granger is that he starts the fight, but he needs a finisher.
Hey.
The Roger is the finisher for Falcon, so you have this chunk plus execute damage. This Veil pick for Curtizi, inspired by Stormy for sure.
Yeah.
Talk about anti-dive, that is one right there.
Yeah, it looks like they want to cancel out that dive with winds of their own. Leo, Inga, let's go.
For the first time in M6, it's the Pride of the Burmese versus the Warriors of the Lion City. Jose, Ingan, and Leo at your service, bringing you the opening bout of the knockout stage.
Opening bout, and you could already see from the draft, it's going to be an exciting match. Once again, the Roger is back in M6.
Did not expect to see it this early, but I did hear down the grapevine that Roger might make a comeback. Hey, if Fredrin can rock the Swiss, maybe Roger can do the same for the knockouts. One more look at the draft for Falcon Esports and NIP Flash going into Game 1. Ladies and gentlemen, best of 3, upper bracket, double lives on the line.
Not so much pressured compared to the last day of the Swiss format, wherein the final series went into 3 games. Speaking of the final series, we also saw the Veil perform in the hands of, I believe, Stormy.
That's right.
And it was phenomenal again in terms of disrupting the dive composition that teams can go up against this Veil. It can be a good pick for the side of NIP.
Throwback as well to that Jawhead. We all saw those picks in that series. Folks, the M6 Pass available from the 18th of November all the way until the 29th of December. Complete all active tasks during the event to reach level 75 for free. Get amazing rewards, including Claude's Battle Emote, M6 Glory Avatar Border, Baksha's Battle Emote, and the new special skin Baksha Dauntless Shield for free. Get a couple more skins for your marksmen coming through, as well as an elimination effect, trail effect, and more for you to unlock. That is the M6 Battle Pass. Checking out the map again, relatively mum here, a minute in. More action down in the lower quarter in the XP lane. A lot of our analysts actually gasp at Royal Milk's pick, the Phoveus into the Hilda here.
Yeah, I mean, Royal Milk has been performing phenomenal. Again, we're just gonna assume that he's gonna try and go for the aggressive zones, just trying to keep Benny, Vanix preoccupied to be able to not dish out the damage that NIP Flash needs.
Ooh, check it out. With the Little Wanderer control, Dax able to bully JPL and Hades out of the river. This is odd as NIP Flash's lineup. You want to be the aggressor. You want to be the one moving faster. But look at Diablo, who's getting held hostage in his own lane.
And we've seen this so far from Falcon Esports. Their mid trio, and how Trex likes to call it, the Triple X. Dax, PX7, Kidex, known to be the aggressors, even if their opponents have supposedly an early game-centric lineup, because right now NIP Flash, they have the Hilda and they also have the Jawhead. But looking at Jawhead, there's an early ejector play coming in, but look at the Eternal Guard to bring down. Royal Milk will get the kill, but Kidex on the other hand will also fall down. A double kill for the Phoveus.
Oh no, Diablo gets one. PX7 on the docket up next. Royal Milk catches a triple.
And the triple X rotation of Falcon Esports, led by Royal Milk, gets a triple. They were wondering about the Phobius pick. Supposedly, he's just going to zone out the members, but he gets 3 kills of his own.
Shades of Falcon Esports versus BTK. Game number 2. Royal Milk went ham with a CC nonetheless, but this time, it seems like he turned back the clock on that Phobius. Now, once more, these roamers, Kid X, JPL, the Emperor, starts the fight off with an ejector. And the answer, Kid X with the Revitalize. Let's see, round 2. How about we do this again? One more go at the turtle.
Okay, another go. Same story goes. Ejector, but the sustain is there from Kid X. Now the glorious pathway for Falcon Esports to counterattack. Here comes Royal Milk, just trying to dish out the zone. Forces to use NIP Flash to walk away, but look at the internal guard connecting onto the back line as Dax gets the turtle. Wants to go for more. Is the Lycan's bound going to be there? He gets the open fire, now focusing his target onto Cartesi. In a strong start for Falcon Esports.
I could have sworn the PX7 was going to go that much faster, but oh no, Diablo's in trouble!
And they're not even done, just ganking up on Diablo. Kid X and Royal Milk will pick up the kill.
Amazing use of the Eternal Guard, as if Phobius and Hylos wasn't enough. The extra body for Falcon Esports in that clutch objective take. Almost 3,000 ahead are the Burmese. Royal Milk just holding it down. Diablo cannot rotate out. One of the main strengths of the Hilda neutralized.
They're just having a hard time really with the mid and XP lane of Falcon Esports, and we've expected NIP Flash to actually have a better early game, considering the fact that they have a Johid who has early game damage, and of course the ejector that he always use to initiate for those clashes. But the problem is, it's always Kid X that he manages to throw, and that's why Falcon Esports, they always have a response. In fact, the ejector is actually helping Falcon Esports because Kid X is just able to cast the glorious pathway right on time.
I got a couple of things brewing in my mind. Number 1, Curtis is not dealing enough damage just yet. Mind you, it is just about 4 minutes elapsed into game number 1. It should just be a matter of time. Second, PANIAX and Benny. The fact that it's been quiet for our gold laners, meaning they've been getting the gold lane experience, you know, in farm, in dueling. Is that dangerous? Do you think that PANIAX is playing towards an inevitable late game once more? Because so far, in a lot of NIP Flash's wins in the Swiss, that's been the story.
It's always the late. You have to rely on your late game carries to actually dish out the damage and eventually get you the win that you well deserve. But again, NIP Flash, with the current aggression of Falcon Esports, we also know that Falcon, when they are in control of the early game, it's not necessarily gonna reach the late game with how flawless they've been executing the macro plays that they're well known for executing.
I hear you. The Burmese, I'd say, are better in the mid, and then I guess the earlier parts of the late game, we have seen them slip up and drop the ball here and there. So with that said, this is a great start. Falcon Esports 6-3. NIP Flash holding on for dear life, trying to get those skill enhancements on Curtisi, trying to make, I guess, ends meet for Diablo. Great decision on the handsome devil, El Guapo Diablo here, picking up the Fury Hammer casually. Because if you played this the usual, just run Hilda into your face way and just build full tank, the whole hostage situation would have been so much worse. So the fact that he's building some teeth on this XP lane sledgehammer makes more sense. Back into the action we go. Once more, about 3,000 gold ahead. Falcon Esports is. Check out PANIAX picking up the Hasclaw.
Okay. So right now, NIP Flash, it's still safe to say that in terms of mid-game, they can actually, again, counterattack. We all know the power spike of Hades. When it comes to the Alpha, the third turtle at the same time, when Curtisi is activated, they can disrupt, again, the dive composition of Falcon Esports with the Windblown paired up with the Windstorm.
And that is what NIP Flash are holding out for. One more turtle. I'm guessing with the delay in the first, this might be the count for the second/third turtle coming up about 30 seconds from now. Kid X holding this river brush. PANIAX and Benny rotated out already. This fight's just waiting to happen.
Okay, now Kid X zones out Hades. JPL forcing them to back away. No major objective yet for Gods for Falcon Esports, and now they're just going to play the waiting game and wait for the neutral objective to respawn.
Big ticket item picked up. Curtisi, his first built item, the glowing wand, should make Kid X and Royal Milk's life a little more difficult. Diablo bullied out from his lane down bottom. down to a third of his health.
Yeah, up against the hill though with the Phobius. You're bullying El Diablo, and even up against 2, it's like you're unbothered. It does nothing to Royal Milk right now. Just enough for Falcon Esports to get the turtle, but the shutdown coming in from Curtisi to bring down Dax, and Diablo goes in for the kill. Unstoppable kill coming in from Royal Milk. But Diablo picks up the kill as well as Cartesi gets the turtle. Here comes the response coming in from NIP Flash. Windstorm just to try and keep Falcon Esports at bay. But here comes Benny, and Royal Milk as well picks up another kill again for Falcon Esports.
Right in your face, Royal Milk running through NIP Flash. 6-0-2 on this Phobius, 6 minutes in. Jose, that's a kill per minute.
That's a kill per minute. Falcon Esports just really upping the tempo, upping the pace, catching NIP Flash off guard. They're not giving enough position for JPL or even Diablo to make crazy plays for the all-star teams of Singapore.
A turtle apiece. Despite the delay, we will still see one more spawn in the upper quarter. A minute and a half about before this comes through. The final turtle. Are we still on schedule? For all the NIP Flash fans watching, can Hades still hit that power spike?
I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to take a longer time because, again, 0-3-1. And up against a Roger, in terms of farming speed, in terms of scaling up, you'd expect that Hades would have a much better time compared to Dax. That's why Roger is out of the meta. But right now, JPL goes in with the Ejector, countered down with the Eternal Guard. Glorious Pathway is there, but Kid X is the first man down. NIP Flash caught off guard there, but Falcon Esports has a response right away. NIP Flash manages to get Kid X.
A master stroke from the Emperor. The counter engage, throwing bodies underneath that turret. Despite there being an Eternal Guard, hey, nothing stings as much as an early game turret. That was a win for NIP Flash, closing the gap, keeping that lead up to just about a 2,000 gold distance. Falcon Esports, they gotta slow down, but I feel like that's not how they want to go, especially when you have a Roger. I don't think Dax is making the most of it. He's doing all right, but I think in his head, when they were planning this with the draft with Coach Nyoncha, with Coach RC, they were expecting more.
Yeah, and you can really see the effect of Curtisi with the Veil. The game plan is working for them right now, especially for the last clash, because they were able to counter at the dive center again of Falcon Esports, and now starting things strong by taking control and hold of this turtle bit. Here comes Kid X with the Glorious Pathway, like it is coming in from Dax, but still Hades gets the turtle, puts the Spear of Alpha connecting onto 3, forcing Kid X and the rest of the members of Falcon Esports to walk away.
Huge movements from NIP Flash, denying Royal Milk the late entry. Falcon Esports let go of their lead. Slowly but surely, just 1,000 ahead now. Here we go, another fight. JPL's in trouble.
Here comes PANIAX though. Kid X, is he going to be able to take down JPL? JPL walks away safely. Now Falcon Esports, slowly their lead has been diminishing. For some point, it reached up to 3K. Now it's down to 1.6K.
Not enough of a hold. I can expect in the next couple of minutes, unless something changes drastically, Falcon Esports will lose this lead. Kid X dropping the Glorious Pathway, deterring the push coming in. In mid, check it out. Diablo underneath, defending against Royal Milk. No wave, no dice.
Okay, that was a good play coming in from Diablo. They don't want their mid lane turret to be exploded by Falcon Esports because again, it opens up the jungle of NIP Flash, and now they're going for more. JPL with the ejector onto PX7, diminishing, deleting him off the mid lane. And here comes the clash. Falcon Esports trying to answer right back. And look at this, Royal Milk will get the kill. 3 kills, a double kill for Dax, and a kill for Royal Milk. And Benny still working on trying to bring down Diablo, but on the other hand, here comes the Glorious Pathway coming in from Kid X, just forcing PANIAX to retreat, and the Death Sonata will bring down NIP Flash!
It's a wipeout! Falcon Esports is eating good, and they wiped out NIP Flash, converting into a turret in mid and in bottom. Dax was just waiting. Who let the dogs out?
Man, when you thought Falcon Esports was behind, again, their macro play was intact despite PX7 being the first man down with a beautiful play, mind you, by JPL with the ejector. They were still able to turn things around with proper timing, proper entries, and of course, Benny just dishing out the damage along with Dax.
PX7, an amazing threat magnet. He knows that NIP Flash needs to take him out. If they don't, then trouble could ensue. The fact that every single time he just is able to let go of the EG, I think that was key to making that wipeout play possible. Now with the Lord spawned, upper quarter, Hades playing footsies. In comes Kid X.
Glorious pathway. Hades has to walk away with the Spear of Alpha. But Kid X is doing a good job keeping NIP Flash at bay. And all of a sudden, JBL is going to fall down. The next man might be Diablo. Getting taken down by Royal Milk and Kid X. And the attempt of NIP Flash to try and contest for the Lord has now been foiled above Falcon Esports.
The Burmese are about to put the Lord on lock. Major wins for Falcon Esports in the past couple of minutes. Not to say that they heeded my word, but they suddenly turned it up to 11. They understood how urgent it is to keep a hold onto the mid-game power spikes. And here they are, almost 9,000 gold ahead. Royal Milk, look at the damage he's dealing, man. 40K, 707. All right, about 11 minutes in, he's gone past a kill and assist per minute.
Yeah, and just looking at the lineup of Falcon Esports, technically, you have two marksmen. Well, at least Dax is a fighter assassin, but still Royal Milk exceeds every single member hero in the Land of Dawn in terms of damage dealt. Just literally performing out of his mind in the trance right now. 707 for a Phobius.
Homie is in a state of flow. You could call him Flovius. Mid lane in trouble. Barrages, salvos, assaults thrown out by Benny. They break through. Top lane up next.
Kid X just doing a good job keeping NIP Flash at bay as the rest of the members works on bringing down 2 inhibitor turrets. They still have the Lord, but NIP Flash going to make quick work of that. Now they're set their eyes on the bottom lane turret. No minions yet, but looking at the lead, that's a 10.2k gold lead for Falcon.
Surgical. Falcon Esports understand very clearly the stakes at hand. Around this time, we've seen over and over again in the Swiss, some teams would just let go. Some teams would drop the ball, but no, not Falcon Esports, not like this, not right now. In comes the Emperor!
Oh! JBL tried to dive in the unstoppable force, but Cartesi, last attempt, and PANIAX will bring down 2 members. Here comes Diablo on the chase, just trying to cut off the exit route, but Benny answers right back with a Rhapsody. A Death Sonata connecting onto 3. PANIAX managed to stay alive. 3 members of NIP Flash left. It's going to be a 3-on-3, but Falcons, they have minions down bottom.
2 for 2 here. Down goes the final inhibitor. Benny picking up that Sky Piercer, making sure that no prisoners are taken. Falcon Esports will wipe out NIP Flash once more. That seems to be the only solution here. The way I'm seeing NIP play Flash, NIP Flash play, is if anyone is left, I'm thinking PANIAX, I'm thinking Kurt, a defense is possible.
Yeah, and I do agree with what you're saying. NIP Flash needs to play flashy. With Kurt TZ leading the charge, we saw what can happen when the wind blow and windstorm connects. They just need to scale up to have more damage and try eventually to burst down the members of Falcon Esports. But it's still not impossible for NIP Flash to come back from this game.
They gotta make the most of the fact that Falcon Esports right now aren't building much magic defense. Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. It's mostly just tough boots that's keeping them safe from Kurt TZ's CC and damage. So if Kurt somehow just finds the perfect moment, if he's able to channel his World Championship genes once more, ladies and gentlemen, the only player left in M6 to go for that double World Championship run, then maybe NIP Flash can take this from underneath Falcon Esports' nose. 9,000 gold ahead, lower quarter of the map, that's where the Lord spawned. Hades going for the dance.
Okay, Eternal God already casted JPL. Just giving vision here for NIP Flash. No commitments yet for both of these teams. Looking at Diablo, he has control over the mid brush. Gonna get vision again for NIP Flash.
Hades holding on to that pixel brush. Diablo pushing back. JPL holding that river brush. In comes Kid X. There's a throw.
Oh, the unstoppable force got stopped, but NIP Flash manages to bring down Dax as well. Kill spree coming in from Betty, forcing Falcon Esports to retreat. Here comes PANIAX, and a shutdown from Kurt and TZ. Picks up a double kill. This might be a green light for the Singapore All-Stars.
Massive win for NIP Flash. 3 for 1. Hades off the map, but that's not gonna stop NIP Flash. Benny going for the back here, looking for that segue play. It's just him and Kurt.
Okay.
Kurt and him. Can he do this?
Can't forget Kurt TZ. He's one of the most mechanical gifted players. Manages to flicker out. That Sonata will not connect as Benny works on clearing out the minions, forcing NIP Flash to react. PX7, one more hit, and Diablo says no and goodbye. NIP Flash, it looks like they're back on track.
I'm still still here, amigo, says Diablo, despite having a tough 15-minute game. Keeps PX7 honest. The Lord's still standing. And despite all that, the push and pull, the back and forth through the map, coast to coast, Falcon Esports just checks in and says, hey, Lord's still here, let's take it slow. They've lost the lead, Ingan. 4.5K left, 15 minutes in.
It reached up to 11K, no inhibitor turns for NIP Flash, but one thing is for sure, they still have their determination to come back from this game, and Jackthor gonna bring down KidX despite the revitalize. He might fall down, but in exchange for JBL, body slowly falling down, Royal Milk in the press, once again, a shutdown for Diablo. Betty's gonna fall down, the next target is Royal Milk, Cartesi with a windstorm, don't bring him down. Diablo once again with a double kill.
Another massive win for NIP Flash, 3 for 2. The numbers don't add up for Falcon Esports. They're losing even more of the lead. They're down to 2,000. And Dax and PX7 are on damage control. They're just making sure the waves don't crash back. They're making sure that there's not much of a backlash on the map for Macro to come get them in the behind. NIP Flash gonna score a Lord.
Oh.
No, not possible. Falcon Esports blitzed it.
They blitzed it, because again, Hades wasn't in the picture, so there was no reason for NIP Flash to go in for the Lord. Fortunately for Falcon Esports, they got another major objective. But it seems like NIP Flash is ready to defend this. They're ready to trade for this. As long as they're 5-man strong, they can do this. And again, looking at the time, it's 16 minutes. Husky has been telling us that when it reaches this point, the Bruno is going to be activated.
Loki, that's why I was expecting NIP Flash to just have Vanix throw a worldie in there and have one crit steal it away. But Dax, all the more locked in, takes it for Falcon Esports. The first Lord of the game. Second, this time marching through mid. It took a while for them to score that second one.
Yeah, it took a while, took a lot of skills, took a lot of bodies. Kill scoreboard, 26-16. Lord sieging in the mid lane.
Check Diablo in the back. Dax on that man-to-man defense. Glorious pathway drop by KidX.
Unstoppable Force got stopped. They're gonna make quick work of the Lord. Royal Mint just trying to go for the crystal damage. PX7 will fall down. Diablo working on the back line onto Benny. That's not gonna connect. Hades is gonna fall down once again, but NIP Flash still has 4 members strong. Here comes Royal Milk with an Infernal Pursuit. Vanix with the last effort wind of nature, but Falcon Esports will lock down on the turret!
The Roger puts in the final clause to score game 1 for Falcon Esports. Dax bringing back an old favorite.
First game of the knockouts. Didn't go in a flash, but for sure was hella fun, hella exciting. These two teams are in it for a treat. We might see Leo a best of 3, a game 3.
I just can't get over the fact that the meta is still evolving. Mere minutes into game 1 of the knockouts. I'm excited to hear what our analysts think about that, Roger, because even I was 50-50 on it. Ranmar Santa Cruz, Husky and Gideon, talk to us.
Woo, what a start. We thought it'd be Falcon Esports heavy, but at the end of the day, that Phoveus pick that we doubted, it made the Merlions drown in milk, in royal milk. It spiked up so fast and was just the problem for NIP Flash the entire game.
Yeah, it really boiled down to Falcon just snowballing out of control way too early that it put NIP Flash on the back foot the entire game, because we saw when Falcon had a 10k goal lead, NIP Flash had no inhibitors at a lore fight. NIP Flash could actually put up a fight, and only if they were not that far behind, I think this would have been a closer one. But still, props to Falcon for getting that lead in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that NIP Flash, the early mid-game played terribly at this point, right? Because again, a lot of the macro decision-making was kind of strange. Like at a certain point, when do you stray away from the game plan? It looked like their early game plan was to make sure that this Hylos wasn't strong enough to scale into that mid-game to be that frontline tank that Falcons really need and will have to only depend on the utility from the Glorious Pathway. Second problem that I did see, NIP Flash, unfortunately, when it came down to quote-unquote scaling, once that early game is gone, sacrifice those turtles. Royal Milk is always going to be a problem, and therefore you should be playing to your win conditions, and that big win condition had to be Vanix. And I felt like they put a lot of resources into Kurt, but at the same time, unless you have the right items, then it's not going to drag on. That could have ended had Kurt not missed.
That Veil, I feel like it's a revelation. We saw it in the SRG game. We saw it here again. At one point of the game, it just becomes a big -1, an instant -1 with a full combo coming out from the mid laner of NIP Flash. And they fought back with good pickoffs. And I think Falcon Esports were just surprised by the sheer raw output of a Veil that once KidX goes down or Royal Milk goes down, you see their formation crumble.
Yeah, it reaches a point where it really doesn't matter who Kurt catches as long as it's one of the big three, right? Either PX7, Dax, or Banny. You get caught in the knockup, you just disappear. Like, it's either a -1 for FCon or a -1 for NIP Flash if those ability misses, which is sort of what we saw in that end game. But overall, I have to agree with Gideon. I think that the macro decision in the early to mid game wasn't exactly the smartest. I think that's something that I personally would encourage people to look back at how BTK played these macro games when they're behind. They are willing to let it go, but NIP Flash just kept banging their heads into the wall.
Yeah, it's about understanding what the trade-off is. Whether it be gold, EXP, or neutral objectives, you need to be able to get something back, especially with a composition that's so heavy on the economy. People like Curtin as well as PANIAX don't come online until they have about 3 items, unless you get like that very early start. But the only person who can technically do that would be PANIAX, and they were hoping that Diablo could kind of supplement them. Oh, if Cartesi gets a full combo, especially when he hits level 4, they'll be put very, very low, so we need Diablo to kind of shred them down, maybe even Hades, but his job is too difficult. At this point, I think that Falcons understood if we can stop Hades early, we can eliminate Diablo from these fights, we should be able to dominate the early game, but from that point onwards, we need to be careful not to overextend, because again, Falcons need to respect NIP Flash, even in those late game fights. If somebody gets caught off by Cartesi, that -1 on PX7 dragged out this game for the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, and the mid laners were big components of each lineup with how much they respected each other. At some point, it felt like Cartesi just had one mission. Whenever I see PX7 or that Eternal Guard, they're going boom. It's like, take them out right out of the gate. But of course, that also went into KidX. Looking now at this Roger pick, of course, the problems of Roger in this current metagame, I feel like to me, were evident. Kind of a little bit slower, but it looked like Falcon built for this. You have a strong side EXP laner who was confident he would win that lane, and he did. That takes away one of the biggest problems of the Roger, because now he has big help in the major objectives, a high burst, high control mage, and of course, it's not the carry of this composition. It's actually the Granger and the side lanes. And the side laner, the EXP laner, Royal Milk, definitely did his job.
I'm telling you, man, if you end the if you go 5-0 in the first 5 minutes and you come out with a Thunder Bell and your second item is an Oracle, you deserve to be MVP. Like,
that's how you know you're popping.
Yeah, that's how you know you're popping.
He also went Rupture. Yeah, the Oracle is just, you don't see it a lot, but it's so smart. At one point, I told you guys, like, oh, wow, he built the Oracle. That's why his shields from his enhanced basic attack was so good.
Yeah, Royal Milk is one of those players that some things don't leave him. He used to be the, the one trick, the go-to Yuzong guy. War Axe into Oracle if he's ahead against his opponent. Same thing for Phoveus, but instead of War Axe, it's Thunder Belt. So really smart itemization to make sure that he can not only dominate, but really be, hey, unless PANIAX has got 3 items, specifically the Malefic Gun, if you don't have that, I'm gonna just beat you up. I'll be in your face.
Yeah, and as we look at the highlights, I think a lot of what Royal Milk did in this game is embedded in our memories. He was one of the biggest problems of NIP Flash. And even though they get KidX, they get Dax, problem was they just could not get the Phoveus down.
He's just too durable. This was sort of like the second turtle fight, if I'm not mistaken, but actually the first turtle fight overall, because it got dragged out for so long. But still, I think the fact that Royal Milk at this point of time, like almost 6 minutes in, he has 5-0. If you're NIP Flash, you have to start respecting what this guy could do. He is diving turrets, he is diving your backlines in fight, and no one can peel him away.
Yeah, I think that NIP Flash, but if I had to change anything, a couple of decisions that needed to be done. Number 1, when it comes down to early wave clear, PX7 on this Vexana definitely clears the wave a lot faster in comparison to Carteezy until Carteezy gets a couple of items, right?
Yeah.
Just naturally based off of kit. I was hoping that NIP Flash would make these more mid-centric rotations and try to invade the jungle to bait motions out of Falcon Esports. Maybe catch them off guard later down the line, because again, PANIAX could easily rotate down for these early fights, especially pre-level 4, but once a couple of things that we did notice. Unfortunately for our man PANIAX, getting chunked out in lane didn't help. He was a level down in gold as well. The laning phase did not go as well compared to when we saw him during Swiss.
Yeah. Both your side lanes sort of collapsed, right, for NIP Flash. Like, PANIX's lane, okay, right? It's a matchup thing, but Diablo's lane, that one was a complete disaster. It got completely locked down as a Hilda, and when you don't get to leave the lane, you don't get to apply pressure to the Roger, and it doesn't help that every single objective fight, Diablo just couldn't do enough in that early to mid game.
Yep. And that's game number 1. Hopefully we'll get to see an answer from NIP Flash with that Phobius. I mean, with Falcon Esports, like, they got the hot hand right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they even think about prioritizing the Phobius set again for that game number 2, just so that Royal Milk can continue. Wait.
You hear that?
Yeah, I hear it. Oh, Gideon.
Was it that loud?
Yeah, I can hear the crinkle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I felt it in my soul.
Hey, man. Hey, I mean, I would imagine that all Singaporeans are going to need a little bit more fuel in their day with Hello Panda.
Yeah, it's a crunchy biscuit filled with creamy chocolate. Well, in this case, it's is it filled with strawberry for this one?
This one? Yeah, it's with strawberry.
Strawberry.
Want one?
Yeah, sure, of course. So yeah, this is our ultimate snack to keep us energized, level up your day, and visit Hello Panda's website for more. So yeah, the Phobius should be a problem, and I think if I'm Falcon right now, I just look at Royal Milk and go, "Want to run it again, man? I know you want to."
One more time. Give it.
Just one more time. It's a best of 3. If it doesn't go well, game number 2, we'll put you in a different hero.
The fact that it's such an honest draft, where they started with a high loss, and then they immediately revealed Phobius after that, and it worked out exactly how Falcon wanted it to be. I think just run it again.
Yeah.
Let NIP Flash respond to it.
I think they're probably not going to get blue side this time around. I am interested to see whether NIP Flash wants to take blue side away from the Falcons, or whether or not they're going to stay to the red side and maybe switch up the bans a little bit more. I do feel red is a little restrictive in that particular sense. However, maybe they go back to, comforts. I'm expecting JPL to get a Cho pick pretty early on this time around if they are on red side.
Let's see if that will happen in the draft. But of course, from November 22 to December 29, the M6 support chest will be available for a limited time. You can purchase the support chest for 50 diamonds and get a large amount of pass EXP with a chance to obtain the basic M6 pass if you don't have it yet. So if you don't want to get the pass directly, you can try using the support chest so that you can get that. And by the time you get the pass, you already have the XP already won with that, already embedded in it. So use the basic M6 pass to instantly activate the M6 pass, unlock additional pass rewards, and immediately get Claude's Challenger Spark. That is the M6 support chest, available for 50 diamonds each in the game client.
I'm so close to the statue. I'm so close to this thing, right?
Really?
I am nowhere close.
I am so close.
Look, as an analyst, I live my life in the most efficient way possible. And every single day, if you have enough diamonds already, you don't need to splurge on so many support chests. You just buy one every single time, and then you go into those daily missions instantly to get a little bit more EXP. I'm maximizing to see how big of a discount I can get.
Yeah, don't forget your challenger missions too, because I'm getting close to like 100 games and you get like 3,400 pass EXP.
Oh yeah, it's
3 levels. Yeah, there's 3 levels once you reach 100 games. So just keep playing, and you know what? Just like a man who believes in himself, who just told his teammates to keep playing and they eventually won against SRG, Kidex also has some more words about the rise of Myanmar and Falcon Esports. He's going to be coming up on your screens right now, and to him it feels like a fever dream that they've reached top 8 with a different lineup than the old Falcon Esports lineup. Again, the last time we saw Falcon Esports at the world stage, that was the likes of Justin and gang. And now here comes the Databayo We Believe squad of Falcon Esports.
It's always very, very vindicating. The vindication you feel, right, when all that hard work pays off and you're finally on that world stage, you're facing off against teams that you used to idolize, you kind of imagine them hoisting a trophy, and you take them down, and now you're one step closer to that, to achieving that dream. I can only imagine, right, being in Kidex's position.
Or at the very least, at a bare minimum, if people don't know how that feels like, just think about it. previous Falcons, the Justin and the gang, now known as Mythic Seals, you beat them 4-3 at the Grand Finals on home soil. Oh, that's good enough for me.
And of course, here they are now. He's been playing for a considerable amount of time. There was still an MPL Myanmar, the 5th season. And just the development of this group, they were the same, I want to say bloodline, but the same trajectory as PANIAX Esports, if I'm not mistaken, from MSC 2023, when Onyx Esports won the championship then. And even then, there were already a few eyes, but people were just like, give it a bit more time. And finally, they got the time, and they're in the world stage, one game away from advancing over the Singaporean All-Star team.
Yeah, and getting into the upper bracket, which is sort of like a shortcut, right, to that finals. You win 2 upper bracket, you're in the upper bracket final. You're guaranteed top 3 on the M Series stage.
You get to skip so much. It is a huge advantage here for teams who are winning in this decider matches to sort out the bracket. But I think there's still opportunity because I don't feel like we saw the full extent. We saw a good extent of Falcons, but we didn't see the full extent of NIP Flash, which is, I need to see that first before I can believe.
Yeah, I think another thing that we could tell from NIP Flash is, yeah, we pointed out, especially in the early to mid game, the macro decision making, rotating at the right time. It seems like they weren't hitting in what we see as the right points to apply pressure on the side of Falcon Esports. But as basic as you can get in the objective.
Knows that Nets doesn't.
Fight that I didn't expect that they would.
Yeah, me neither. Especially with the lead that Fnatic Onyx had. Like, I feel like Fnatic Onyx could have ended this game a lot sooner, but there was a lot of overthinking happening because of the divergence, because of where the SOD could be coming from, which is why we can clearly tell that both teams respect each other to an uncomfortable degree.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. The sheer amount of respect they have for each other's capability to turn things around just extended this game to a length that we didn't expect because of the lead that Fnatic Onyx Philippines had.
I mean, think about it this way. King Kong had a 4-level lead on the guys on a Julian of all things. Now, Julian struggles to get in on the Lord pit, right? Everybody knows that unless you are committing all your abilities to jump into that pit, you're basically sacrificing yourself to try and give your team a option, a chance at it. But I don't know. There's a lot of moments where Fnatic Onyx probably should have just taken a fight instead of going for the Lord. Just push SRG. Even if you get into our flanks, who cares? We've got a whopping lead against you, and as long as Super Prince's positioning isn't compromised with his feathered airstrike, majority of these fights should fall into their hands.
Yeah, the craziest thing is that throughout this entire game, we saw 3 Lords. King Kong got none of them. It was 2 SRG. The last one was secured by Kirk. And King Kong had a level lead the entire game.
That's hilarious.
You are right. Like, a lot of his farm really just came from sheer farm and even the kills alone. But that's one of the signatures of Fnatic Onyx Philippines from MPLPH Season 14. They are willing to lose the Lords, but they're not willing to let go of their leads. You can get the objective, but they're going to get the kill trades after. And then every Lord that SRG got through that way led to them getting taken down and actually losing turrets.
I mean, you get a second Lord and you still end up losing 2 inhibs, right? Like, who would have thought of?
Yung aggressive play pa ng Onyx laging nandun. So feeling ko para magtuloy-tuloy ang pagkapanalo ng Onyx, ituloy lang nila yung pagiging aggressive at pagiging consistent. But kahit aggressive sila, ganun pa rin katindi yung kanilang discipline sa paglalaro.
Yes, indeed. Now, Fuego just said that honestly, he felt like in Game 1, the draft itself was already a winner. And even though the side of SRG played
other teams in the knockout stage, how far you believe Fnatic Onyx is supposed to go?
So 100% sigurado ko yung Onyx mag-champion.
He said, wow, okay, Michelle, I don't think I really need to translate this, but you know what? To really set in stone what he said he's 100% confident that Fnatic Onyx is going to be champion this time around. Okay, now we know that this is a best of 3, right, Fuego? And we saw that Fnatic Onyx just took Game 1. In your opinion, what do they have to do in the second game to guarantee that this upper bracket slot is still theirs?
First of all, sa drop pa lang, nakita ko na agad na grabe yung kalamangan ng Onyx sa kalaban, sa SRG. Though ang ganda ng naging laban, pero pagdating sa peaking sa drop, ang laki agad ng advantage with the Farsa. Yung hero ng kalaban, wala masyadong dash. Hirap makapwesto yung kalaban. Tapos yung aggressive play pa ng Onyx, laging nandun. So feeling ko, para magtuloy-tuloy ang pagkapanalo ng Onyx, ituloy lang nila yung pagiging aggressive at pagiging yung
the brains and the bronze, the tactician and the strategist behind the games of both teams stepping onto the stage for Fnatic Onyx Philippines and Selangor Red Giants. As both of them take a bow and go for the fist bump, is about to be a battle of epic proportions, a premonition or prelude of what's supposed to be a championship match. As scenes go down, is about to get heated.
It may be an intense battle, but smiles on the stage. I don't know if I saw that right. Did Innocent try to give Kelra something there at the start? Was that a sticker? But I think we're going to have to check up on that a little bit later on. They are ready. It's the battle of red and yellow. Actually, no, red and yellow versus black and yellow for these two. I just cannot wait for the draft. And let's check out the M-Chat brought to us by SRG. Are you guys excited to meet Fnatic Onyx Philippines? Innocent said, yeah, of course. King Kong and I used to be teammates in TNC Pro Team. Sakai wants to face King Kong for that reason too. And Sakai sounds jealous. What?
Hey, talk about good vibes and a good time, right? We were talking about mentality, the EQ on this guy through the roof.
Yeah, I mean, even from the MPL Philippine League to even our gala night, you know, Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been messing with Innocent a bit. You know, King Kong and rough his hair up during his model run. So that's pretty funny as well.
By the way, the LBB Rising Open, a new game mode, is available to check out. So if you want to redeem it, scan the QR code, or you could use the redeem code MRO. That's the letter O. Bang Bang. You can go to your in-game profile icon setting and then redemption code so that you can go ahead and claim it.
All right, we got a minute before we get into this game. A couple of things that I want to point out here is especially from SRG's side, because again, keep in mind that FNOP are the favorites in this matchup despite everything that's happened. If an upset were to occur here, nobody's going to get knocked out, but I am genuinely worried about two picks. One being the Loyi, the secondary one being in that Bruno. So I don't know if SRG has figured out an answer to one or the other, but this is on the assumption that they are going to be on red side.
Yeah, alongside the Loyi and Bruno, you have to watch out for that big trade-off or big trade of the Cho, Yooms, and even Yooms himself. As a lot of people are already saying Yooms is one of the best Cho users in the world. Yooms himself said Brusco is one of his favorite Cho players that he ever got to play against in scrims.
Some of them say never meet your idols, right? But in this case, you have to. Not just that, I think even when you look at picks that something like as common as a Suyo in this meta, like when you put King Kong on Suyo, is a completely different from all the Suyo that we've seen in the league thus far. So I think that's something that SRG needs to consider. But again, when we head into the drafting phase, it comes down to which side both teams are on. If SRG's on red side, they got a lot of thinking to do in this first phase, especially.
Well, let's see who won the coin flip. And it looks like FNOP have decided to, at very least... Oh, actually, we're not sure who wins the coin flip, but whether or not, you know, SRG decided to go red, even if they did. But at the end of the day, Suyo has been a very strong opener for the blue side. And especially in the hands of King Kong, it doesn't feel like he ever hesitates on his decision, which is why he seems to be so mobile on this one pick.
It's not just that, it's also kind of the macro knowledge, right? I think a lot of people have talked about FNOP as a team that are so good in their mechanics that it translates into those macro decisions. We saw them with picks like Suyo, like Loyi, and I think the general consensus would be this iteration of FNOP is the best out there, right? Like it feels that they're irreplaceable right now.
So FNOP have respect banned two of the topics of Cram in the Swiss stage, which is the high loss and the Hilda, and the space that it provides, while taking away a stable high loss, alpha pickup of 4 SRG in the hands of Sakai. So they are signaling to SRG to go ahead, let's play the assassin game. Let's go for the high mobile, high damage heroes that we're known to use, Sakai and King Kong. While for SRG, they take away the Fanny of King Kong, and one of the most stable bans you have to commit when you're up against Fnatic Onyx Philippines is actually the Jushin. So for SRG, are they thinking of taking away the Bruno, or they actually take away the joy of King Kong?
This is actually pretty smart here, because now I want to see what the opener for FNOP is going to be. Is it going to be instantly pick up the Phoveus, to try and deny another pick away from Cram. If they do decide to give Phoveus away and go for Blue Yo once again, which they usually do, especially on that blue side, that means they might have another potential answer to the Phoveus, maybe in terms of just lane pressure or wave clear with Gatot, or maybe some other picks.
If you want to go for first pick Bruno, like a lot of teams do, there is also that choice. The Loyi is also up on the table for FNOP. If you want to first pick it, now is your chance, right? Because SRG, they're essentially willing to go for the trade, but this King Kong Suyo is now going to be out of his cage.
Yeah. So the next possible trades are Cho, Suyo, maybe even a surprise Low Yi steal as one of the first two picks on the red side, so that Super Friends won't get his hands on it. Though they did get a loss against BTK with that hero, FNOP are very prideful of that Low Yi pick.
Yeah, they are. And very understandably so, man. Super Prince is one of those Loyis where it's hard to imagine Loyi without him.
Yeah.
Now, Loyi's stolen away, but they also decided to take away the Cho. Now, I would have imagined that they would lean into maybe picking up the Bruno alongside the Cho and attack the gold roam support side of the map, but doing it in this particular order now tells, hey, if you pick up the Bruno, that's totally fine, but you must take the Purify alongside it.
That, and also, this, I know that we've seen SRG flex that Cho a few times in the local league for Cram. I mean, if they want to go down that route, it's always there, depending on what the roamers are left in the pool after this. But for FNOP, this is one of the few teams that does not mind leaving Kelra's hero for last, right? So for them in this case, they're not really worried about that goal lane matchup. They've won in a disadvantage matchup, but that Bruno is online, so you guys just pick it.
Sand rises.
Okay, and there's the Khalid for Fnatic Onyx Philippines going most likely into the hands of Brusco. Now, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, though, still need to be careful of potentially SRG swerving and picking up a lineup that does well with Fredrin in the jungle. They were able to play that well up against during the Swiss stages, so I wouldn't be surprised if they might have their eyes set on building that and just playing for a lineup that wants to supplement a long-range hero such as a Granger for Innocent.
I'm thinking about Burst, right? As much as Granger sounds like a great idea, I feel like taking the Beatrix might just be the better bet only because you have the Cho. But if they don't want to go through that route, they can look to pick up Phoveus now, despite Khalid being that flex pick, just to kind of force, hey, EXP side of the map might just be within our control. You're forced to play towards gold.
Yeah, I like a Phoveus pickup for SRG here. And it's going to be the boss.
Wow. I mean, you can't blame him, right? Like, when they asked about his, what pick do you want to help us win a knockout game, and he said Moskov, give it to him.
This is a very interesting idea because this feels very NIP Flash, right?
Yeah.
It feels like they kind of want to play with the diversions. They want to sneak into the back line at key opportunities in this game. And as an SRG fans are building up the hype for the second half of the drafting phase, there are still a lot of holes for both teams this side. It doesn't look very lopsided right now.
Yeah. So with SRG playing the map, that sort of shuts down one of the tendencies of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Their signature 4-1 split that sends King Kong into the far lane while four members with a strong team fight by FNOP can hold the major objective. FNOP blocks the Fredrin while SRG blocks the Sicilian. Fantastic drafting and banning from these two teams so far.
Wonderful, wonderful draft.
This is why some people say that you are looking at a potential grand finals match already, right? Like the drafting is just masterclass from both teams. Just good understanding. Like we've seen Super Prince with the Sicilian also. The only difference is that SRG, they're looking for a jungler and a flex, whereas for FNOP, they're looking for Super Prince's hero, and SRG, they're trying to block it out.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what they're going to do to get that level of burst with the Cho. I mean, the Cho can be used proactively or defensively. He's extremely flexible in that sense. I'm curious whether or not, as you've mentioned before, whether this Cho flex into the EXP is a good idea. And I think that's what they're going to do all the way to the very end, as they've already banned out Gatot. Unless they want to solidify what their EXP lane, they're probably going to pick Phoveus, worst comes to worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there goes a Nolan.
The signature Nolan from Sakai's. Just good respect.
Wow. Well, great respect from both of these two. I wonder if that means that they might end up picking something like a Hayabusa for Sakai's as one of his last best options. The Ling is still on the board, but Ling has definitely fallen out of favor.
What about Julian?
I feel like actually, unless they have, if they go Julian here, all they're missing is whether or not they have an EX, unless they go for like a damage EXP laner, because then it just won't be enough, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to supplement, you're trying to look for, if you play Julian, you're looking for a composition that is willing to skirmish on a drop of a dime, right? At any point of time, let's go for the all-in.
Oh. Okay, they get the Terizla, a solid front. So I wonder how solid they'll actually get with this lineup. What if suddenly, now they will need to go damage in the jungle, or they're gonna be playing for a very mid, very late game style of play style. Well, Fnatic Onyx Philippines needs a little bit more AoE in their books.
Yeah, it's telling Kara that, okay, you need Purify for the choke kick. Hey, if you use Purify, you're not gonna have Flicker for the penalty zone, right? You gotta pick a poison. This is limit testing Kara. Kind of put him in a spot where you gotta play your best game as a Bruno.
Oh, I wonder if they'll pick up a CC for Kirk. Go for the traditional CC Terizla matchup.
I was thinking that as well.
Tamus?
I feel like Edith may make a little bit more sense here, only because you want to keep up pressure, but at the same time, I still don't know who's going to go into the EXP lane. I feel like Khalid can technically go there as well, but when you have Farsa on your side, it makes a little more sense to have Edith as your support.
It feels like it's a Brusco Khalid. Like we've seen him play like Khalid roam plenty of times.
And Edith is a signature pick of Cram in MPL Philippines, so that's going to be the lineup for FNOP. They needed just a little bit more magic damage, so they paired it up with the Edith as well. Good damage distribution and profile for FNOP, while for SRG, they have the choice. They can either go Assassin in the jungle, or they're just going to go Sturdy again and just play for a mid to late style play style. I'm leaning towards a Hayabusa right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it doesn't feel like there's much choices right now with the Fredrin and Nolan banned out. If not Hayabusa, Julian is probably like the riskier pick, but Hayabusa is definitely feels like that one.
It's Julian.
Oh yeah, they went to Julian. All right, okay.
All right, yeah, they want to be able to fight at any point of time in the game, pre-level 3. If they will get some kind of an early lead, it'll be interesting to see. But both sides very team fight heavy. This Farsa pick is going to be dangerous.
Fnatic Onyx Philippines versus Selangor Red Giants in the very first day of knockouts. Make some noise, Iowa Cinema!
The Philippines' last hope clashes with the Immortal Giants at the end of this best of 3. One of these tournament favorites will be forced to go on an underdog run in the lower bracket. Jose Ingan, Leo here at your service, bringing you Fnatic Onyx Philippines versus Selangor Red Giants.
A possible glimpse of a finals matchup between the champions of their respective regions. And man, looking at the lineup, they really choked Sekai, so like as you mentioned before, with the draft in bans.
Choking him is an understatement. I think they really ran the Sky Prince out of his jurisdiction and said, you know what, throw back to about 6 months ago when Julian was good. Let's get into the battlefield as we watch these two champions, these two titans of MLBB Esports clash for our entertainment. Wherever you're watching from, at home, here with us in the arena. If you are at a watch party, one of those from all around the world, thank you so much for making us part of your weekend. Let's check out these early rotations. Is this the first time we're actually seeing Super Prince on a Farsa in a year? Maybe in a couple of years since his debut.
I think so. We've used to seen him use Luyi, the Valentinas, even the Faramis, but right now, an artillery mage. You know that Super Prince really wants to give out the damage. Just looking at the emblems, he's ready for war.
The monster mage here, putting up quite an effort. Malaysian Goat pushing him out. Fumes, in comes the beast.
They're going in for an early aggression onto Cram. Same like what we've seen during the first series, wherein they want to target the XP lane. They're going to keep the gold lane safe first. They're not going to mind that. All eyes are on the XP lane.
Look at this multifaceted attack. The assault on the senses by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Selangor Red Giants, we've yet to see them pull any proactive moves here in this early bout. Again, a minute and a half in, and for the first time, it's you crossing the river.
I actually like that you point that out, because if you're gonna watch out for the games of SRG, we've seen Sekai in his local scene, you know, be the aggressor, go for the invades. But right now, so far in M6, we haven't seen the aggressive side of Sekai. Maybe it's because of the draft, because they're trying to choke him out like what Fnatic Onyx Philippines do. But right now, if SRG wants to go up against a Titan and bring them down, Sekai needs to be proactive.
Brusco coming in with those hot scimitars. Quick check on the gold lane for League mates. Both MVPs, both MSC champions at that, and now Brusco jumping in.
Yes, and Kelra already pops his Purify. Brusco on the other hand, quick side guard. Here comes Guns. G22 Crab goes in with a penalty zone in the first one drawn. On to the bruiser of Fnatic on it. Crab picks up the kill.
And that was a trade. Fnatic Onyx happy to get that out of the way as King Kong secures the turtle. If you ask me, 4 out of 5 times, that's worth it. King Kong overshoots.
Overshoots, but now focuses his eyes on Sekai's. Here comes Youngs though to the rescue. He doesn't have his level 4 yet. But on the other hand, Super Friends brings down his reign of terror over Stormy.
The Mage Prodigy didn't see that coming. Again, that is what's so elusive. That is what's so odd about seeing Super Friends on an artillery mage.
Yeah, this time, we've said this a lot of times. Super Friends has been the unsung hero of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. He has been a team player, but it looks like this time he's gonna be the star that the Super family needs to bring down the Giants.
Amazing how they have relegated core status to Super Friends. And I'll tell you now, I'm seeing where it's coming from, because King Kong, he's playing more of a utility Suyo, as weird as that sounds. So far, this has given Fnatic Onyx about 1,000 gold ahead, 3.5 minutes in. Second turtle spawning in the lower quarter, so expect a little bit more action there, a little bit more of a commotion around our gold laners. More on Kelra, more on Innocent. I believe the score is X and nil. Not a single game Innocent has won when he's faced off against the gold standard.
Yeah, but this guy, in this case, Innocent though, his mindset has changed. It's shifted. He doesn't think about the player behind the hero. This time, he just thinks about the hero matchup, when in this case, it's Bruno. And we all know Bruno can be a lane bully, especially with the fast rotation from the mid trio of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. So they're going to play it safe. Again, they have a huge advantage when it comes to the mid to late game. They still have Stormy on the Louis that can play a huge role when it comes to the macro gameplay.
And we've yet to see those diversions come into play, given we are in the early game, 4 minutes in. Huge rotations up top. King Kong and Kirk making sure the coast is clear as they rotate back, using the waves, using the current to rotate in. The flicker away.
But on the other hand, they're going to go for a counter-attack though. Defender airstrike is there. Selangor Red Giants still has the numbers game advantage. Scram still has the penalty zone plus the flicker. Let's see who's going to set up first in the turtle pit.
Yume's here down to 1/4 of his health.
Oh, penalty zone! Connecting onto Brusco. Raging Phantom is there, but it's not going to be enough to sustain the damage. Coming in from Selangor Red Giants. Fnatic Onyx Philippines on the other hand, answering right back. Brings down Yume, brings down Sekai's, and it looks like King Kong has a clear path to this turtle. But Kirk says, we don't just want the turtle, we want 3 bodies. 3 giants will be taken down.
That was hot.
It was.
2.2K now, 5 minutes in, suddenly the snap. Ladies and gentlemen, the clutch has been stepped on, and we're going into 6th gear as Fnatic Onyx go into Selangor Red Giants jungle. Even Yumes can't stand the heat.
Honestly, at this point, it's not the 6th gear, it's the 7th, 8th, 9th tempo on Fnatic's side. A 2.9K gold lead. You rarely see SRG on the backseat, having a step back on the aggressor side. So Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they've studied what SRG can do again, utilizing their knowledge down to the draft, preventing Sekai's from getting a good hero, but here comes a diversion from SRG.
All right, it looks like Kirk saw that coming. So this relative mum, this silence, this calm before the storm allows for us to catch our breath, you too, Ingan. So with that said, 6 minutes incoming, a minute until another turtle spawns. It's a crapshoot. It's a dice roll here for Selangor Giants if they want to fight that, because if anything, right now they're going into what we usually see in the late game for these high-octane teams, these well-oiled engines. They would rather go for ambushes. You saw that diversion.
Yeah, we saw that diversion again, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're 1 step, 2 steps ahead. Even Super Friends, this is one of his signature heroes. He knows where the diversions will be casted, even down to the specific time. As King Kong trying to dish out and kite away Cram. Cram has to walk away, but this time, they might overcommit onto King Kong.
He goes down, a clean pick-off by Selangor Red Giants, and here's a clapback. Yumes gets flipped over and burnt out. Super Friends gets a kill.
A roam for a jungler, that might be a favorable trade for SRG. That's why SRG wants to extend their lead. The Spear of Destruction will connect along with the penalty zone, but Kirk though with Earth Shatter catching SRG off guard, and they're gonna halt the clash, but Stormy says, Super Friends, it's my time to shine, brings him down.
1-1, the score between the Mage Prodigy and the Monster Mage in mid. And they're man down. It looks like Selangor Giants have found the window.
Okay, but Brusco, though, has a good opportunity here. Yums, on the other hand, has to conceal. Now, it's going to be a turtle dance. Yums goes in, what it can do?
And they find one. Ikram in the middle of it all, taken down by King Kong.
Oh!
Stormy and the Yin Yang.
King Kong delivering the sever to bring down Stormy and take back what he did to Kelra, as Innocent has to walk away, getting chased down by Brusco and the Kirk. Here comes the Raging Sandstorm.
The Bruiser finds one. Innocent is down. Sekai's the only one left. Onyx Philippines are fanatic about this as they take the last turtle. None for SRG.
The Super Family displaying excellence, displaying their chemistry. You said that Brusco found one. Well, Super Friend says, I'm going to take him down, brother. 4.6k gold lead. And even if Selangor Giants, we do have to commend Yums. He has been performing relatively well. The Jeet Kunduz has been connecting.
He's my goat.
Wave the Dragon as well. But the problem is, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, again, always 2-3 steps ahead.
From minute 0, I think Fnatic Onyx have found their way in to SRG's camp. They, some way, somehow, made Sekai struggle even harder. Critics, analysts, fans would say this is not the Sekais we saw in MSC. This is not the same Sky Prince from Riyadh when they won MSC. And now they put him on a hero that isn't even meta. And now Yums is in trouble. In comes Brusco.
Kirk with the Earth Shatter. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike. The artillery coming in from Super Fringe just to bring down Innocent. And that's the proper target the Fnatic Onyx Philippines wanted. He went for Yums, but now Brusco. Oh, trying to go for Sekais. As Sekais tries to work on his purple buff. Here comes King Kong. Dashes in. Tram still has his penalty zone just to counter attack, but SRG will have the discipline to walk away and just let Fnatic Onyx Philippines get the purple buff.
The Sigma Junglers Riz, Ohio Phantom Tax pushing in. They're not done.
Oh, Yums though, in a very good position. Crab goes in for the penalty zone.
Kelra in trouble, taken out. Yums gets his man, and that's a pickoff. Selangor Giants finds one.
Wow.
Like a needle in a haystack.
Leo, Fnatic Onyx Philippines initiation, they got Innocent. What's a better way to answer right back? SRG, Yums with the conceal onto the back line to take down Kelra. They know their target, and they're hitting their marks.
He got that without a flicker, ladies and gentlemen, so he got it the hard way. Now suddenly, since Fnatic are a man down, Selangor Giants are standing their ground. They're pushing back against Fnatic. Sekais dashes on out, gives us a few more moments to breathe and figure out.
For me, again, same thing happened. SRG with the Lord, Fnatic with the kills.
The jungler in the mid for a Lord and nothing to trade for it? I think Fnatic Onyx had this planned out all along. I mean, sure, you could have retrieved, but King Kong made the call. He said, I'm gonna go on Stormy, and we're gonna make him pay. Lord spawns down bottom, but mid and top are for Fnatic.
At this point, SRG, that's more than what they wanted. Preventing Fnatic Onyx Philippines from getting the Lord and getting an inhibitor turret down. 4 seconds before Stormy responds, Sekai's response. They have the diversion, so they can make a play actually, since Fnatic Onyx is preoccupied with this Lord.
Yums, Cram, and Innocent on the aggression here. They're on the offense, they're looking for targets, and seems to be a feint. They're pushing him back, unless in comes Brusco by two!
Connecting onto two with the Raging Sandstorm. Here comes the diversion. Cram on the eye with the penalty zone. They're working on Innocent. Innocent is going to fall down in exchange for Brusco. He as well. Cram caught in the midst of everything. Last man is Stormy, and Sekai's wasn't in the picture. Fnatic Onyx Philippines takes 4 down.
The Sky Prince running solo, and he can only push mid. King Kong to the rescue, clean in-house. Selangor Giants reeling right now, 1 for 4. I thought it was the worst start when they lost Esan, when Innocent fell. But when Ikram followed, when you followed, when Stormy followed, oh no. Ingan, I think they're going for the end game.
One guard minion is here. Sekai is desperately trying to burst it down. He will do so successfully. But Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they have minions onto the middle lane. They're going to be disciplined enough to disengage. And that was enough time for Sekai's to save Selangor Giants.
Not quite the end game just yet. Fnatic Onyx Philippines reading the room. With a minute until the next Lord spawns, finally they might score 1. And they'll take it slow, deliberate, surgical in their approach. Approaching the 16-minute mark, Innocent is actually in a better shape than Kelra.
Yeah, Because again, Innocent, although he's at 2-3-1, still with the space created for Innocent, specifically from Cram and Yums, he's still able to do a lot of things for SRG. But the problem is Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they have a lot of engage.
That's what you call a funnel. And it's all in on Innocent. Fnatic Onyx, they have their eggs spread across many different baskets. There's one in a Swiss bank account somewhere else waiting, because that's what Super Prince's Feathered Airstrike is. It's such a long-range artillery spell that even if you start the fight with it, fight goes long enough, he's got another coming.
He's got another coming. I mean, looking at the battle spell, it's just a flicker, not even a purify, but still one death. Despite there being a Yums show, so far Super Prince's super positioning has been doing wonders for Fnatic Onyx Philippines. So SRG, let's see what's their play.
Brusco coming in, conceal, spots Innocent. Does he force it? There's the Feathered Airstrike. There's the jump!
Winter Crown's not going to be enough to try and delay the push Fnatic Onyx Philippines is doing. King Kong on the other hand is going down. Innocent on a rampage right now. Wind of Nature is going to be there for the 2 gold laners. They're working on Brusco. Might be able to take him down though. But Brusco has his immortality. It will be popped. Crown on the other hand goes down in the hands of the gold standard. A 2-for-1 trade. King Kong for Sekai's and Cram.
With Innocent, Yums, and Stormy here, what's the call? Do the Super Family blitz this Lord? Can they afford to do that?
Man, plan A should be the Hail Mary Innocent Spear of Destruction. They don't have, both teams don't have a Retribution holder, so it's still possible for SRG.
Watch out. Innocent does have an immortality. That gives him more of an advantage, a larger margin for error compared to what Kelra's working with. Just raw stats, sheer mechanics, instincts that would take decades to perfect, that the gold standard has done through his years in professional play. Fnatic Onyx finally just respawned all in. Selangor making them work for this final Lord.
Okay, looking at the items, Innocent just pick up the Wind of Nature. On the other hand, Kelra has just the Rose Gold Meteor. So Innocent can still swap the Wind of Nature later on for the immortality. Let's see how Kelra's micro mechanics will save him up against a Titan like Innocent.
Lord here, down to half health. Fnatic Onyx urging, taunting, provoking SRG to dance. Cram up to the task. SRG taking control of this river brush and a sneaky push by Innocent up top.
And that's the thing. That's what you're going to do if you're Innocent. Play the macro game. Play it at your own pace. Again, you did lose 2 inhibitor turrets, but that's the thing. You still have Moscow and Stormy with the Lu Yi.
So far, it looks like Selangor Giants have Fnatic Onyx number. The macro, slightly better. The map control.
Oh,
Kirk down to put to a 5th of his health. Forced to use the ult.
Forced to use the ult, and he still gets the Lord away from SRG. Penalty zone will connect Stormy on the other hand onto the back line with the diversion. Winter Crown play. Here comes Innocent onto the top lane. He takes down an inhibitor with him. Sekai's doing his best to work on Kelra. 2 bodies will fall down for SRG. There's a Winter Crown, but look at the base coming in from Innocent. He already used up his Wind of Nature. King Kong's immortality will be popped. Now they're on the chase. They on the revenge onto Innocent. Kirk with Earth Shatter. Immortality will be popped, and they will shut him down.
Flashing back to his days in MPL Philippines. A failed segue. A backdoor denied. Esan falls. Fnatic Onyx Philippines on the offense. Cram flickering away.
Cram and Sekai's left to defend. There's the Lord sieging in onto the mid lane as King Kong works on Cram. The rest of the Super Family works on the push, works on game number 1.
Fnatic Onyx Philippines taking the first game here, threatening a sweep.
Standard Kelra versus half man, half beast in Innocent. And the player head-to-head so far in the M6 World Championship. Kelra leads in KDA and in the kills as well, but Innocent, a hell of a farmer. Plus 45.6 in terms of GPM.
I mean, right now, Kelra is 7-0 up Innocent. That's not looking too good for our half-man, half-beast there, you know?
Oh boy, poor guy, poor guy. At least nobody's getting knocked out. Innocent, despite winning in one of these categories, has going to need to bump. As much as I want to believe that Farsa...
Suddenly we get another surprise pick in M6. I mean, that's been the trend so far. I think later for SRG... Oh yeah, see? Yeah, of course it's going to be a taker.
Nah, I mean, you take it away, right? Like, even if SRG gets the Valentina and you somehow still implosion, you are still relying on you're relying on Valentina to stop Joy. That doesn't feel good, you know, if you're SRG.
And that's also close range. Your long range wave clear is not good. You're gonna have to go long range here for SRG.
Yeah, very, very difficult. I mean,
did they get the box?
I would imagine. You know? Oh, box both are very good options. At the very least, disengage mechanics will be very helpful, especially if you're going to get chased by FNOP anyway. I mean, they've got some like great combinations, and I think obviously the Granger is going to be a large proponent of not only opening the map, but kind of soft setups for the team.
All right, what's SRG going to end up with?
What if?
Ooh,
that's a Hume's classic.
Only picked once in the M6 World Championship, and they get the Valentina away. I think FNOP are going to be thinking into either the Aurora or the Eve.
That's a classic Hume's pick.
Yeah, just take the Eve at this point, right?
The Eve, right?
Because they've covered both sides from the side of SRG. You go Farsa, it doesn't matter. You still have the Nature's Barrier to cancel it out, or even like the Wild Charge. Either or is totally fine.
And Grok is extremely weak to magic damage, right? If you power on that Eve, it's going to be super tough for Yums to just run up and set up a play.
Yeah, they might even consider that they will need a late game hero, because if they end up picking something like a Sicilian, that might be them going a little bit more conservative route. But yeah, Eve, of course.
I mean, if they go, luckily it's an Eve. I mean, if they go Ceci, it's just FNOP saying that we are gonna win anyways. It's only a matter of time. But I mean, Eve is the safer pick.
All right, that's the Game 2 draft for you. Looking forward to seeing what happens in Game number 2. Will a Game 3 be forced, or will FNOP advance?
SRG have their work cut out for them. Up against the wall, Fnatic Onyx Philippines looking to close up shop. Looking for that sweep. Let's see if the hometown crowd will allow that. One more look at the draft.
Man, one of the Hume's classic, the Grok. When push comes to shove, you know, SRG is going to go back to their comfort, and they're really diving down in on the early game-centric composition of their lineup.
So far, SRG working with more utility now, in my opinion, than in Game 1. Fnatic Onyx, though, individually, such strong picks they ended up with. As we go into the battlefield, Claude and Dexter watching from up above. Let's get into game number 2. Once more for all the marbles. 2 lives in the upper bracket, Fnatic Onyx Philippines versus SRG.
Man, if you're SRG, you really want as much as possible to advance to the upper bracket and keep your golden rose safe. And it looks like it's working pretty well for them, or at least for this draft, because again, Sekai's has a good meta hero right now with the Suyo.
That's what I'm saying. In Game 1, it's almost like FNOP did not allow for the Sky Prince to play. He was barely 3 feet off the ground. So don't even think of the Sky. Think of now, here, and that prio in the first phase on the Suyo definitely paid off. So already a minute in, I'll say it's a better look for SRG. Fnatic Onyx, though, what are they looking to do here? Because, Ingan, it's very rare that you end up with such high AoE and high team fighting potential picks like the Tigreal, the Eve, and the Gatot in one go.
Yeah, imagine when it comes to the neutral objectives, of course, they're going to have good ground control because, again, the AoE, the CCs, but it's also possible for them to look for those initial pickoffs, considering that Kelra has a Granger also, and when all those Rhapsody connects, he's going to have an easy time in taking down members of SRG, especially when he picks up a Sky Piercer.
A little bit of a heart racer there, how King Kong just suddenly jumped out of the bush, sending home Humes. Early recall on that Grok, now more pressure down bottom. Sekai's pushed out of the lane. What does this XP lane feel like for you? Who's going to rotate out first? Because it looks like Kirk is holding his own.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Kram first, but they know this. That's why they're trying to go for Kram.
Here we go. King Kong looking for the stacks. Brusco down to a third of his health. And it looks like SRG win the engagement, sending back Fnatic Onyx. This is a cautious approach by the Filipino champions.
Yeah, they also lost the Revitalize from Kirk. So the aggression of Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been used up against them, while Yums just trying to zone out the members of Fnatic. And it looks like it's going to be an uncontested turtle take for SRG, but Kram though.
Kirk down to a fifth of his health, maybe a 10th. AOG just for good measure.
Okay, just to be safe. Just making sure, because again, Stormy can just dash in and use the Shadow Strike to try and bring down Kirk. Again, he doesn't have his Revitalize during that time, so it's just safety measures for Kirk on that field.
SRG more cautious this time around. You're right. In most other games, the Mage Prodigy would have already been behind Tier 1, sandwiched between Tier 2. Going for that kill, but this time around, you know, they're taking control of the map. They're going for plays that will benefit them in the long haul. Now Yumes gets hit with the Retribution.
Okay, King Kong uses Retribution. Here comes the real manipulation coming in from Super Prince. Draws the first blow in the hands of Brusco to try and bring down Yumes. Here comes Sekai's though, with a Sever. Fnatic Onyx Philippines, that's the signal to walk away because we know Sekai's is there. We're not going to overcommit anymore.
BJ Brusco Paro is indeed a roamer, but folks, make no qualms about him getting first blood. I remember in the Swiss, man got one in 58 seconds.
58? Is that the fastest?
That was the prior fastest.
You don't call him Bruiser for nothing.
Whoa!
But you don't also call Sekai's the Sky Prince if he's not gonna shut down Brusco just like that with the Queller. And that's the tankiest hero of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, supposedly falling down in the hands of the Sky Prince.
Well, Sekai's, we were just blazing up Brusco. Now the answer, the clapback, Cram and Yumes versus Kirk and King Kong. Stormy just behind. Has that implosion stolen? What's Super Prince thinking here? Does not have the RWM just yet.
Okay, so right now they're just going to resort to dominating again the laning phase, specifically the XP lane, to help Cram rotate as much as faster, and at the same time give a lot of pressure for King Kong in his own jungle.
For the first couple of minutes, Kirk was holding his own, but now suddenly, Kirk is forced to stay underneath his turret. Now we're truly seeing what this matchup means. What a Hilda into most XP laners, here in this case, the Gatot, looks like. Second turtle spawn, upper quarter. This time around, maybe the gold laners will join in. The Harith and the Granger. When Granger was slowly rising, Harith slowly got pushed out. Yeah, so this is a matchup we don't see very often.
Yeah. I mean, Harith also used up when potentially there's a Bruno, but Cram, though,
hold up,
a little bit too deep there. Getting caught up by King Kong while Stormy works on Brusco. Here comes the electrifying beats. Cram running for his life.
Ikram! One more hit! King Kong gets him. The beast went hunting. Turtle down to a tenth of his health.
Okay, already commits the implosion, but the Purify coming in for Stormy is their Super Prince, though. Real manipulation! Gets an implosion, but is it going to be enough, though? Paired up with the power of nature and wild charge. It's not going to be enough, because Fnatic Onyx Philippines slowly slaughtering the Giants. Even King Kong onto the Tier 1 turret gets one more.
The beast is on the hunt, and he finds another. Converting into a turret in mid. Fnatic Onyx Philippines are online. That's shut down by the Sky Prince. Not so fast as the gold standard gets one in return.
3 Death Sonatas connecting onto Sekai's. And Kelra once again proving that he is unfazed, unbothered. Even with a team like SRG, the MSC champions, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're more than enough, more confident to take down anyone in their way.
That's why they call him the Filipino savage, man. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's gonna do what he's gonna do, and farm away he will. Now 2-0-1. Currently on top of the gold rankings. He's about 700 away, and now a fight breaks out.
Fight breaks out, but it's already done because Fnatic Onyx Philippines manages to pick 2. Stormy and Cram. Just look at how proactive Brusco is right now. A while ago, we've seen him getting scared or getting taken down by Sekai's with the Queller. And this time, with a huge win for the previous class for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, Brusco is now unbothered. The Bruiser in his element, just gonna zone out for Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Oh, dear God! One more time! The Filipino savage is at work. He's now 1,000 and change ahead. Calra is on a mission.
And that mission is to be the pride of the Philippines. Again, we only have one representative. The Philippines has one representative left. And Fnatic Onyx Philippines, the pressure is high, but it looks like they're unbothered. 3.4k gold lead, looking to get the turtle away from SRG.
This is the final turtle of game number 2. Fnatic Onyx jungler way is up top. Cram here in the middle of everything.
But just look at the implosion once again coming in from Brusco, paired up with a real manipulation and unstoppable kill coming in from Kelra. Sakai diving into the defense, manages to get one though. Here comes the AOG coming in from Kirk, but Innocent picks up a kill as well. The answer from SRG is here, King Kong!
Coming in, red tree on the Cram. He's not done. Here comes the Beats.
The Beast slowly slaughtering the Giants, paired up with the help of Kirk. Gonna bring down one more. Kelra, Death Sonata. Is it gonna be enough though? there's no charge, so SRG is safe for now.
That's a DZF defensive Zaman force dropped in by Innocent to get out of harm's way. And just like that, the late entry from King Kong scores him the final Lord. 2-1 the score, 2-1. 8 minutes in, Fnatic Onyx, 5,000 gold ahead.
Scream his name and King Kong will appear. Even if it's late, it's better than late, picking up 2 kills of their own, plus the turtle takedown, preventing SRG's tempo to regain their tempo for Brusco!
He elevates and he detonates!
With the AOG and implosion play, Keller also working on the back. Even Graham, even Sakai will bow down to the gold standard!
And the beast shall clean up house!
Oh.
And here comes Innocent from the back line. Super Prince pops him point blank. Fnatic Onyx, they sense it, they can feel it. Folks at home, can you smell what Fnatic Onyx is cooking?
I'm pretty sure selling Red Giant. They don't want to let the momentum of Fnatic Onyx Philippines carry over, because so far there are a lot of isolated clashes, and all those clashes are won by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. They do, however, get some sort of kills for the trades, but it's not, unfortunately, it's not enough. And looking at the lineup of SRG, you'd expect them to actually dominate or at least have a good time in the early game, considering that they have a Harriet, they have a Suyo, and Fnatic Onyx Philippines, King Kong is a joy that scales up perfectly, especially in the late game.
They have expedited the farming phase for the Joy, and now Fnatic Onyx are sandbagging into SRG's side of the map, into their faces, and I think that's what's making it so hard for SRG to come back, making it hard for SRG to find a favorable engagement, an entry into the fight, because look, they're gonna throw Cram in here, but he's not so sure. Off camera, Innocent's down!
An off-cam kill, solo kill. King Kong brings down Innocent.
So low!
So low! Fnatic Onyx Philippines, here comes the real manipulation. Sonata brings down death to Stormy. Yum goes in, just trying to delay the push of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, but here they are. They have minions working on the top lane turret.
They don't care about Sakai's in the back line. They want to penetrate. They want to come in.
Okay, Sakai's gonna dash out, but the problem is the base has now been exposed. Kelra just really working on the double. And now the recalls are here for Fnatic.
They have many choices. They could push mid, they can push top, they can take the Lord. What's Fnatic Onyx to do here? They're about 10,000 gold ahead. No waves. They should breathe, take it slow, Fnatic Onyx.
While all the while, the beast incarnate, King Kong himself, gonna work on the Lord. Just making sure Fnatic Onyx Philippines can end this flawlessly.
SRG, they're slowly folding to the high-octane engagements of Fnatic Onyx. I get it. SRG want to find the slow roll. They want to set it up for Innocent. They want Yums to get that Guardian's barrier into a great power of nature, the wild charge, but they just couldn't. Sakai can only do so much.
Man, how can you set up, provide vision, and get the proper angle if even down to the Death Sonata, you're having a hard time trying to soak up the damage?
Not to mention catch the perfect ult, not to mention catching the implosion or the real world manipulation. Even Stormy is compromised.
Okay, forcing out the Salmon Force already. King Kong electrifying beats. Innocent though, here comes the AOG.
That's 3, pushed back. Fnatic Onyx, 12,000 gold ahead. Pop in mid, bottom up next.
Lord sieging in the top. Well, Fnatic Onyx Philippines working on the last inhibitor turret down bottom. Kelra and the rest of the Super Family in charge, in full control. Will they go for a play? We're all just waiting for Brusco to go in. Flicker in with the implosion play. Let's see how SRG will respond. Minions onto the middle lane. Fnatic Onyx Philippines waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike though. Will they go for it? Look at Kelra with the Rhapsody. That's not connecting.
One more, the RWM, the stolen one away. Down goes Sakai, that's one man down.
Kelra just working on bringing down bodies of the SRG implosion from Brusco.
They find 3, forcing them out. Down goes Yums, the RWM from Prince. King Kong taken out, traded out for Yums is down. Another one in the way. Innocent pop. And they go for more. The punish, the AOG by Kirk. Point blank, Stormy's gonna fall here. Down to 1. Ikram cannot take it up a notch. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The base standing. Fnatic Onyx Philippines, lakad matatag. The Filipino champions, the Philippines' last hope, march forward in the upper bracket.
The gold standard and the rest of the Super family becomes the greatest obstacle to date that the Giants cannot overcome. Fnatic Onyx Philippines sends SRG to the lower bracket.
One life. One series loss for SRG. Fnatic Onyx breezing through the upper. Let's throw it over to our panel.
The Bruiser, the Monster Mage, the Young Buck, the Beast, and the Gold Standard. That's who Fnatic Onyx Philippines are, and they advance into the next round, continuing their upper bracket run. What an absolutely gob-stomping, dominating game number 2 performance.
It didn't feel the same as game 1 at all, right? Game 1, SRG was able to claw back slowly, but game 2 was just execution. Put SRG right at the guillotine and just chop their heads off. So some people might call me a patriot turned coach, but from the start I had a prediction, and oh
my God!
I'll do one better, right? It was this, and then wait, I pitched my prediction. So it started with a 0.
Yeah.
2-0 Fnatic Onyx. Got it right, baby. I got it right.
Got it right.
I'm a statistic man.
Yeah, it is to be expected, right? They are looking to be champions of the world, and they are continuing their route in the most convenient way possible through the upper brackets. A lot less games to play, and it's still best of 5s. However, the raw domination here is just a good showing of what, I mean, I would imagine that the coach told the rest of the team, guys, let's not messing around here. We need to make sure we hit our abilities. No more whiffs this time, Brusco. And Brusco said, yes, I'll hit everything.
No one whiffed, no misses. That was a hell of a performance by Fnatic Onyx PH. Again, sweeping Selangor Red Giants. Is going over to the stage with Rose and FNOP to hear the winner's interview.
Dropping the hometown heroes to the lower bracket. Fnatic Onyx Philippines with a clean sweep up against Selangor Red Giants. And right now, beside me here on stage, we have Kelra and King Kong. Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
We're okay.
We're okay. I love that. Okay, now, Kelra, we know that the first game, actually, it was pretty close, no? It was closer than the second game. And in the first game, if you remembered, Innocent tried to do a split push at top. How was the communications like that time for you guys?
Wala talaga kaming comms nun eh. Parang biglaan lang din. Nagulat, kinabahan nga ako kay King Kong, kala ko matatapos eh.
Oh, you got scared. So you told King Kong like you thought he was gonna end? You thought Innocent could end?
Akala ko, King, sabi na, yung call lang namin, King, yung base.
Oh, all they said was King, the base. Okay, how do you guys like deal with intense situations like this? When a split push is happening or a potential sweep, a potential comeback? Paano nyo hinahandle yung mga gantong intense na situation? Lalo na kung like example, kanina, nagli-lead na kayo, tapos biglang potential makamba kayo, potential ma-split push kayo. Paano nyo hinahandle yung mental nyo?
Hindi tayo kalmado kanina eh.
Oh, they were not relaxed.
Parang medyo, kasi kami, overhype din kanina. Siyempre, SRG nga laban namin. Talagang, malakas din kasi isa din sa tinitingala ng sa MLBB. Kaya siguro hype lang din kami kanina. Kaya, pag-hype kami minsan, mas nakakapag-isip kami na maayos eh.
I see. They said they were actually very hyped going up against SRG because SRG, they said, is one of the team or organization that people look up to in the MLBB scene. So that is why. And also, he said that when they're overhyped, they can play better. So you guys can play better when you're more intense situation. Nakakapaglaro kayo pag intense yung laro? Mas nakakapaglaro kayo pag intense?
Go naman. Mas nakapaglaro talaga kami. Mas nakapag-isip kami na maayos pagka sa mga ganong sitwasyon. Kumbaga nasanay namin yun sa practice namin eh.
I see. He said actually they play best under intense situations. I like that. That is the mentality you need for the World Championship stage. Okay, King Kong, it's your turn. You can't avoid me forever. King Kong, we know that you have a storyline. Same goes to Innocent and Cram. Started from the bottom, now you guys are here. How is it like going up against your former teammate, Innocent and Cram, in the international stage?
Masaya lang sila katapat kasi naging kakampi ko rin si Cram tsaka si Innocent dati.
International stage, and he said because they used to be in the same team. Anong gusto mo sabihin sa kanila? Do you have anything to say to them?
Gusto ko pa kayo makatapat sa sa upper bracket.
He wants to meet them again in the upper bracket. You can't. You can't. They're in the lower bracket. The only potential is finals. Okay, King Kong, another one. You mentioned in an interview before with me that you want to meet Sakai's, right? Now that you've met Sakai's, what do you have to say about him?
Nag-enjoy ako sa laban namin. Palong-palo siya.
Okay. He said that he enjoyed the game and that Sakai's is actually good. Now, Kelra, as the only Filipino representative left, Aurora has already gone home. Do you feel extra pressured being the only defending champion for Philippines?
Sa pressure, di naman kami pressure kasi kumbaga, ano na lang, one game at a time lang talaga kami. Hindi namin inisip yung mga ibang tao. Focus lang kami sa sarili namin.
He said they actually don't feel pressure being the only Filipino representative left. They take it one game at a time and they just focus on it so they don't really feel pressured. I like that. I really like that. King Kong, do you feel pressured?